Alright, today we're playing Danger Pack and we're going to try and build a couple of different teams using one of my favourite units from this pack, which is the Tier 5 Taita Thrush. So this unit had a completely different ability on the test server right back at the beginning of Danger Pack. But these days the way it works is that it gives buffs to the whole team when an adjacent pet attacks. Now it only has 3 triggers. So it is one of those pets that in customs it is very useful for going for resets. And I actually recorded another version of these teams in customs, which will be in a future video, I think. But today we're just going to look at Danger Pack. I guess technically with Red Panda giving you access to pets from other units, you could potentially do a blobfish reset with Taita Thrush in Danger. But, I mean, there are so many different units that Red Panda can transform into. I think it would be pretty unlikely to get that going without dedicating a huge amount of time to it. So we've acquired the Darwin's Fox. Now, Darwin's Fox is one of the units that we're going to need. It has the benefit of being able to get 3 jump attacks off at start of battle. Probably shouldn't be that way, but, you know, that's the way it is at the moment. And so we're going to take advantage of it for this team. When it jump attacks, it will hurt another enemy pet, and that will cause it to trigger the second and third jump attack, as long as it still has enough health to survive. So it looks like we're going to lose to this Golden Pack team. Yep. We actually did end up getting a doggo on our side, presumably because of the transformation of the Iramote cat. So we take the level ups on turn 7, obviously looking for the Thrush, but we don't get it. So I'm going to take the Cardinal Fish. Now, I think we could have actually taken one of the other tier 5s there, but we'll revisit that in the second run in this video. So Cardinal Fish I think is really strong. Allows you to remove attack from every other pet. I believe originally the Cardinal Fish removed its own attack as well, but now it doesn't, which just makes it even better than it was. And luckily we get a tie here. So the idea is for the Cardinal Fish to remove the attack from the opposing units. I guess obviously it's going to remove from our units as well. But then the Thrush is going to refill the stats because we get so many activations. So, okay, we would have seen it here if we didn't immediately face Dolphin. That's just the way it goes sometimes. But there you can see the activation from the Darwin's Fox, where it attacks once and then it triggers itself. So here we're going to run double Thrush, one on either side of the Darwin's Fox. And the goal is to try and get all of the activations from both Thrushes at start of battle. And you'd think that would be pretty difficult, but actually I think it's relatively straightforward, because the Thrush ability, as you can see here, actually activates before the Darwin's Fox jump attacks for the second and third time. So it produces this really satisfying kind of cascade of stats going across the whole team. And we get a victory in that danger mirror. So now we just need higher levels on the Thrushes and then probably some defensive equipment, because they're very, very vulnerable at the moment. And we can also take a Baycat summon at the front, because there is a chance that the Darwin's Fox will just knock itself out, in which case having the Baycat summon will allow the front Thrush to activate again. So here we go. Yeah, it looks so satisfying. The level 2 Thrush is giving the same buffs as a Mammoth every time there's an attack. Obviously the one behind is half as effective, but I'm sure we'll get it to level 2 pretty shortly. I also do go for the higher level Baycat here, even though it will ultimately not have space. It's simply because you could end up with multiple units on your team getting knocked out, and therefore the Baycat could potentially have space to summon. So here we go, the Darwin's Fox gets activated. Obviously the Thrush in the back is lagging behind by 1 trigger because the front one gets activated by the Baycat. But it still looks incredibly satisfying where you have the buffs kind of rippling over the whole team. It's actually very reminiscent of the way Poodle used to be in the old Puppy Pack, where you could just have multiple Poodles and it didn't really matter what your tiers of your pets were. And then when you clicked end turn, the buffs would just kind of, wash over the whole squad. Okay, the Baycat actually gets an attack off there and survives. But yeah, you can see the Darwin's Fox triple jump attack is so satisfying. And of course, in customs, you could obviously set this up so that you had a start of battle snipe in order to trigger the Darwin's Fox. I'm not sure if we could do that in Danger. Maybe we could if we got, would it be Tomato? I think we could probably get Tomato from the Krill there and then give it to the Baycat. The problem is if the Tomato didn't actually do any damage to the unit at the back of the opposing team. And here we can see a scenario where the Thrush actually gets knocked out, but it still gets set off. And yeah, that was fortunate to face that that jump attack team that would actually demo a scenario where the Baycat wouldn't attack. So we're really just looking for level 3 cardinal fish now. I suppose I can take the good perks from the Judean date. And yeah, a lot of these teams from other packs, they're not really set up to have their attack reduced. Like, it's one of those weird things about Danger Pack where if you are facing danger in a mirror, you can probably deal with it a bit better. But, if you're going against random arena teams, they're really not going to be able to tolerate having their attack reduced so spectacularly. Obviously, Golden Pack could do something like putting Warthog in Beluga, but when it's a random opponent, that's just not going to happen very often. Should also mention here that the Darwin's Fox has the altered version of the Geechee Red Pea, which is the food that used to give +3 health, but now it's a perk and it reduces the attack on the opponent. I feel like it's very, very nasty. And it just increases the chances of the Darwin's Fox actually surviving that first jump attack, given that it only has 15 health here. So here you can see, yeah, the Dodo only ends up with 4 attack. And yeah, this turtle team just gets absolutely obliterated. Suddenly units that were huge at the beginning of battle just don't look very effective anymore when they only have 4 attack. So there's the first run. Now we're going to look at one that I think is a little bit more intricate. And there is kind of a surprising element to it because I didn't fully expect it to work the way it does. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to go for double Thrush. So I think what's going to happen is I'm just going to try and save all the level ups for turn 7 again. And we're definitely going to lose here. But I mean, if we're saving level ups for turn 7, that's going to happen anyway. So we'll take the 2 level ups here, and I'm sure we're going to get something that we want. Yeah, the double Thrush, and we can immediately put them both in the team, and then probably take the Angel Shark. We've already got the same setup as before, where we've got the Red Pea on the African Wild Dog. Now, it only has 1 jump attack though, so we aren't going to get all the value immediately. And the one in the back line is not going to do anything yet. But we can definitely correct that if we make some changes to the lineup. And in order to do that, I think we are going to need another tier 5. And we actually get it there on the level up, and I don't take it. So that's kind of interesting. I don't remember the game going that way. But yeah, Thrush just synergizes so well with a lot of these units. Some of the tier 1s in Danger are very strong, like the guy at the front here, the fan muscle, being able to block that extra damage and then regain health from the Thrush. So here we go. We get the double Marine Iguana in shop. And now I'm trying to think of a way to arrange this team to get maximum value from the Thrush. Now, if you look at this team, it doesn't seem like this would make a lot of sense. But as soon as we go into battle, I think you'll see how this actually works. So we expect the Thrush at the beginning. Okay, it's actually going to get messed up by opposing jump attack team immediately. I think we still win though. Yeah, we do win even though the team gets messed up. But if we go for level 2 marine iguana in the middle, in fact, I guess we can go for level 2s on both since we're pretty likely to face... okay, we'll go for level 3 in this guy instead. But maybe we'll see it now. Okay, yeah, so the marine iguana at the front, when it faints, it will actually give melon to the guy in the middle from the grave. I mean, it looks really odd. I'm not sure why exactly the pet has completely disappeared and then the animation still works. I guess it's just an order of operations thing. But yeah, it looks so strange where the empty space provides the melon to the marine iguana in the middle when it jump attacks. Once again, white truffle, even though I think it is pretty OP, it's showing, you know, what you can do from a creative sense. So here we go. It faints and then the melon just comes out of nowhere. So yeah, I guess the setup doesn't actually activate the Thrush at the back until the second marine iguana comes in. So we could probably improve it by replacing the angel shark with another jump attacker. I'm not sure if that's what's actually going to happen in this game though. I think maybe I just keep the angel shark. Of course, like I was saying, you know, there are situations like this where you're going to get matched with a danger opponent, and then the melon is going to get wasted on the Thrush because it's being jump attacked by a wild dog. Still worked out fine in the end though. And, okay, we're just going to take a transform perk on the angel shark, potentially as a way of breaking a tie. Now here's a donkey team, so I think we are going to get messed up here. Okay, they actually sniped us. So the jump attack comes in, but it's out of sequence. Yeah. I think we're still going to win though. Yeah, we do still win. So it's weird because you look at this team, you'd think it would be very rickety and that it would be pretty likely to fall apart. No matter, you know, as soon as it got disrupted, but somehow we came out a victor in that one. Here we go. Yet again, we get to see the melon come out of absolutely nowhere. So yeah, super fun team. I'm sure you could probably take this to another level with more marine iguanas and more jump attackers, but I was happy to stumble upon that one.